Welcome everyone! Welcome to another preview. This is MetalCanyon, and we'll be checking out the game from Goblin's studio called Robothorium. Quite interesting. Even more interesting is the fact that this is a turn-based sort of RPG, sci-fi dungeon crawler. I think that's actually how Goblin's studio describes the game itself. And the premise is quite interesting. It really piqued my interest because it said that you play a artificial intelligence that runs a revolution against humankind. And I always liked when you can play the bad guy. Unfortunately, it's not quite what I thought it was, the bad guy. I will explain in just a moment. Anyway, the first thing that struck me is that this game looked a little bit like XCOM. You've got your geoscape, you've got your missions, you've got your factions over here, you've got your equipment, the hangar, black market, workshop, and so on and so forth. The only thing that is really not like XCOM, for example, is that there is no base building. But like I said, there's your equipment, which is, all of your robots and all of their equipment, because each of the robots can have numerous items equipped, which increases or decreases their stats. For example, all of these increase, but this one, for example, the BreakTech Destroyer 2.0 increases the attack power, but it decreases the speed. I believe this is speed, yes. And on that note, because there are so many numbers to keep track of, everything is actually quite nicely laid out, and the fact that you get tooltips for each of the things is something I really appreciate. A lot of the games that seem to be quite complex don't give you tooltips right there. You have to go and look into the help or, into the manual for that. So I really appreciate that you can just hover over things and it will tell you what it is. So for example, this structure, which is the equivalent of life points, or what is this thing? Critic. Okay, there's a few English quirks translations in there, but critical indicates the odds to increase the efficiency of a skill by 50%. So basically, it's like a critical hit. Or this, resistance. And, so that's quite nice. So here's our inventory, which, you can filter by various things like weapons or armor and so on and so forth. And of course, apart from weapons, armor, and utilities, you also have various building stuff. I'm not really sure why the crafting materials are in the equipment screen, but fortunately, all of the stuff that you can equip is right at the top. And of course, the things that this class of the robot cannot equip is red. So that's pretty cool. The game is still in early access, so they can still do a lot to change some of the things. But one of the things I would like to see in the equipment, for example, is that for the class of the robot, these items would be right at the top. So, obviously it tells you that it can equip this one and this one, but sometimes it's not that clear, especially in combat, where you, when you gain new items and you're like, wait, what did I get new? I'll show you that in just a bit anyway. So you've got the hangar, where you can buy new robots from the scrapyard. You've got your black market, where you can buy new weapons and crafting materials, and the workshop, which is quite interesting because you can actually craft your own equipment. But each of the things does have its own requirements. So I need 5 of the titanium bars, a thorium gel, a titanium frame, and 2 bipolar transistors, all of which I have. And it's also quite interesting that you can select what level you want the item to be at, and it only increases the cost of the credits for that, not really the materials. So that's pretty cool. And of course, all the crafted items usually have special abilities on them. Or passive abilities. As you can see, dealing damage regenerates the shield by 15% of damage dealt. That's actually pretty good. And then, of course, you can create components if you don't have the components. And these, of course, in turn also require components. You can reforge items, which I haven't actually tried yet. Possibility to re-roll the attribute of an item. Okay, that's interesting, and it only costs credits. And then you've got the recycling, which, well, you can recycle something to salvage some components from it. And we got one thoriumic acid, titanium powder, and capacitor. So there you go. You know, instead of selling the stuff, you can recycle it and then use it again. Anyway, there's also an arena, which is, I think, a PvP option in multiplayer. Haven't really touched that. I'm not really interested in PvP stuff in games like this. I'm more interested in the single-player aspect. So, we are an AI hell-bent on the destruction of humanity. Oh, no, it's not quite... It's not quite as evil as that. We are an AI, but we're sort of... I guess you could say underemployed from a lot of the characters here, which is a little bit disappointing. I kind of wanted to play, you know, an AI hellbent on destruction and you know, just taking over the entire world. It's not quite that, although I believe you will have options to sway in a direction or two because of the factions. For example, there are the factions, the Humanobots. Everything has a nice little description and a reputation. So, you know, these guys try for a peaceful coexistence, I believe, between the robots and the humans. These guys are robots and just want to kill. These guys are cyborgs and want to fight for cyborg and robot rights, and so on and so forth. So, it's quite interesting. These guys are just merchants. This guys are sort of an evil merchant. And the Robothorium is a bunch of scientists that want to do experiments on cyborgs because cyborgs harbor some kind of a horrible lethal infectious disease that kills humans. So, you know, there's a lot of political play here. And of course, you get reputation, either positive or negative, with these factions depending on some simple choices you make in the game. Now, usually that's like when you find an artifact of some sort that someone wants, and you have a choice of giving it to, for example, to Humanobots or Supreme Machine. And a lot of the times, unfortunately, it doesn't say, do you want to give it to Humanobots or Supreme Machine? It says, do you want to give it to John Wint, which is the leader, or do you want to give it to Halt? Now, I'll remember Halt, but when it says, I don't know, Jeff Wiedemann, you know, I sometimes forget that it's this guy. So it would be nice if it actually told you the faction name, not the faction leader. Anyway, as you increase the reputation, it gives you, you know, various bonuses, like increases reputation gain towards all factions by 15%, reduces the duration of all demonstrations to 1 mission. I have no idea what that is, I haven't seen those yet. And you obtain 2 big material boxes at the end of each mission if no factions are unfriendly towards you. So, you know, there's some of that stuff to do as well. Anyway, the mission so far, it's not really like XCOM, like I said in the beginning, so here's the difference. It is a geoscape type thing, but you simply select these missions and start them. And you usually have only 1 or 2 available so far, I've experienced. Anyway, so John Wint is standing next to a blonde woman. Who is she? You don't really get much information until you click start. And when you click start, you can't really decide whether you actually want to do the mission or not. Especially, you know, considering the fact that this is the only mission available and there's nothing else to do apart from equipment and so on and so forth. Let me just make sure that I have repaired all of my robots. I think I have. Yes. That's one thing you have to be careful about. When you come back from a mission, your robots might be damaged. And if you don't repair them, the game will not alert you to the fact that they're damaged when you go to a mission. I've done that quite a few times. Also, each of the robots has an interesting backstory. As you can see, the Zerker is Brazilian-made, the Scout is Chinese, and the Repair is German, for example. You know, and you get a little bit of a story about why they were created, so it's quite interesting in that aspect. Also, rather interesting is the fact that every one of them has, over here you can see personality. Wait, where was the personality? Oh, it's over there on the bottom. Personality: nerd, poet, reckless, and shy. Not really sure where that comes in, apart from the little quips they say in combat. But it seems like all of the robots seem to have their own, you know, artificial intelligence and are self-aware. So anyway, let's start this. I'm sure you figured this out when you went out on the town with Jeff, but the elections for Humans Congress are currently going on in Dubai. John, I'm going to stop you right there. Our internal surveys predict you'll win by 55.3%. It's now or never. John, forgot about Jackluff. He's just a pawn. BreakTech is working on a new artificial intelligence. I'm sorry, Sarah, but Jacklov must go down. But Karen is right, Sarah. What you're saying now is very troublesome, but toppling Jacklov is our endgame. Our democracy and freedom of speech are at stake. This is the third year John is running for the elections, but strangely enough, he only gets a handful of votes each time. Can you picture John sitting in Jacklov's lair, Sarah? Can you see what it will do for us? The ballots are counted in secret, and I come out losing each time against all odds. Bad luck? I think not. Now, Saya is the name of our character, or our AI. This is what we are. What would you think about broadcasting a ballot count live and direct? So, and then the mission starts. I'm sorry, Saya, I did not introduce myself earlier. My name is Karen Henska. I'm John's campaign manager. If there's one person in the world who can turn the law against Jacklov, that's Karen. And so on. So, this is a sort of a dungeon crawler in the same manner that Darkest Dungeon is. So, we've got a map, and we have to uncover the base. Or, you know, wherever we are, actually. On the streets, apparently, right now. And, you know, sometimes you've got a choice of going either left, right, up, down, and so on and so forth. And sometimes you can also avoid various traps. So the first thing I would like to say is that the music is generally awesome in this game. It's really pretty darn good. The ambient music as well as the combat music, I really dig it. It's got a little bit of a synth wave vibe, I guess. Anyway, over here on the bottom, we've got the danger level, which means that when we fail to hack things or we spring traps... No, actually, not springing traps doesn't increase it. Anyway, if this increases, you know, you get various enemy buffs, which success chance lowered for you, enemy speed and power enhanced, and maximum danger level reached. Not really sure what happens there. Anyway, let's move upwards. I'll need your ID, data pads, and your robot's digicards, please. Maybe you'd also like to know where I had dinner last night? Don't you know that inspecting a candidate's team is forbidden during the election period, as specified in article blah blah blah? Madam, I must emphatically insist to check your robot's digicards. Chancellor Jacklov fears that Supramachine will attempt to interfere. You really think that the Humanobots would like to be pictured side by side with Supramachine? These here robots are my entourage. Code 1024, Alpha Sector. We have an individual refusing the digicard check. Okay. We can stun him or cooperate. Let's stun him. Oh, I like your spirit, Saya. Let us hope that they do not realize one of their agents is missing next time they call roll. Alright. So... Oh, wait. I just went back. Okay, we've got a ballot box which we can steal. This ballot box is 88% full. That's enough. Let's take it. And now a little bit of the map has been uncovered. Not really sure why, but there you go. And now we have combat level 7s. I am so dead. Ow. Alright. So, the combat is turn-based. And the game uses a few mechanics. One, obviously, as I said, turn-based. Second one is you've got lines. So, some of the attacks, for example, are singular. You can see that in the top right of this little window. This will attack a single target. So will this one. This one, for example, will attack all of the targets. So, all 6 of them. And some of the other attacks or buffs might do a single line, for example. So it's important how you position your robots. Now, there's something I find very strange, is the fact that, at least so far, it seems that my maximum team can be 5. And I'm not sure if you can actually increase that. All of the UI stuff tells me that maybe you cannot. But the enemy can often get 6 of them into the group, which really is not very good. Not to mention that there is a big problem with leveling. So, for example, my Zerker here... Man, this music is good. You could see that, you know, I got information about the battlers at the beginning, and my guy here is level 6, level 7, level 6, level 7, okay, level 5. So, you know, it's a bit of a mix and match. Unfortunately, all of the enemies always seem to be the level that your highest level robot is. So in this case, all of them are level 7. What makes it worse is the fact that leveling up doesn't really seem to do much apart from give you some skills and more health, but that doesn't really help you, because as soon as you level, all the enemies will be leveled as well. Not in the current combat, but, you know, all the enemies even in this level. So, I don't know. Anyway, right, let's see what we'll do. Also, every skill you use will cause an overheating thing to go up. The bar here. For example, this guy, Communication Specialist, as you can see, has a bit of an overheat. And if that reaches full, you lose a turn, which is kind of unfortunate. Let's do a loaded shot. Let's see, who are we going to? Police Commander. Oh god, that's not good. Security Agent. Police Officer. Communication. I think this guy can heal. Resilience, Sturdiness. You can check out what sort of skills they have. What does this guy have? Yeah, Defensive Formation, Close Protection, Cyber Baton. He's also got a lot of health. Okay, you know what? Let's go for this guy first. So we'll apply a weak spot, which will allow us to do more damage. Oh my god, these guys hurt. These guys hurt a lot. That's one thing about this game. It's not very easy. So I could heal, and with heal right now I mean shield stabilization, which just increases their shield. I haven't found a way to actually repair the robots in combat. So I could do this and, you know, heal up my lady, but I will use Diagnosis and protect these guys from a bit of damage, which is only 15%, unfortunately. It would be nice if it was more, but you can see up here that this will cause all of these guys in a line to be, or, you know, these two, to be, to have the buff applied. There we go. Great, this is nice. Okay, so our Russian robot here, the War, will do enhanced critical hits. That would be nice as well. I think I should buff myself first. Let's buff ourselves. These guys are mostly of my damage dealers. Well, Zerker is the damage dealer. This French robot is the tank, and the Russian robot is sort of a jack of all trades. And the German robot over here is my support for repair and such. And the lady is... I can't remember what she is. Where she is from. Singapore? I'm not sure. No, Japan! Sorry, she's Japanese. Okay. Right, provoked... Shockwave. That would be nice, because this has a chance to stun anyone in the line. Did not stun anyone. Brilliant. Alright, the lady will use her stock. Let's put the mask on to get a different set of abilities, and we'll do Shocking Acting. Powerful Acting also increases the overloads of all enemies by 4%. That's not much, but there you go. Right now, there are some odd sort of... some odd choppiness going on. You know, every time you use an ability or they use it. So, this guy is healing, and the Communication Specialist... we need to take care of. Now, he's got the weak spot, which we used, which increases the chances to take a critical hit by 25%. He's also stock, which taking damage regenerates the shield of the assailant by 15%, which is quite nice. And he's thorium marked by this guy, so his damage taken is reduced by 15%. I'm going to do a hail bullet. No, a plasmic wave, so I can apply corrosion as well. Unfortunately, it did not bounce off to another enemy. I think that's what it does usually. These guys hurt too much. That's one thing that, you know, I forgot to mention before. They hurt. Combat is not quite easy. Whoa, he heals for a lot. Yeah, combat is not very easy. Each heal receives increases power by 5%. Charmed. 50% of damage taken evenly regenerates the shield of all enemies. That's not bad. Let's do that. So there are a lot of skills, buffs, and debuffs in the game. Let's use a proton shot, which is quite nice because it can bounce around depending on the speed of the enemy. But you don't really know the speed of the enemy unless you check and cross-check each one of them, which is a little bit of a bother. Alright, so I can... intervention. Let's do another shockwave here. Excellent. 2 of them were stunned. Yeah, combat is not very easy. A lot of the times you will be struggling, especially with these types of enemies. Let's do a hail of bullets. That wasn't bad damage. Let's also do a localization. Reduced heals. Oh yeah, I've also increased the skills of that guy, so those decreased heals mean that he gets 0% healing now. Let me see. Heals received reduced by 30%. What? No. I've given him the skill that allows him to decrease them by 100%, I thought. That's very odd. Hopefully one of them will level up so I can show you that. Man, the music is awesome. Alright, let's see what we'll do. More charmed, I suppose, because that's pretty much her only attack. Oh, yeah, I have to do this. Cooling. So it cools them a little bit and heals them a little bit, which is quite nice. I can also use the electric shock, which will possibly stun or at least skill lock a robot or an enemy. But right now, I think I'll just use a rifle shot because I want more damage on this guy, and it will also heal. I mean, cool down the robot. That's the normal attacks are the only attacks that do not increase your overheat threshold. There we go. Ow. So a lot of importance is on buffs and debuffs. And that's a little bit of a problem I see with this game. Let's see how much he has. 178. That's not very good. Let's do another shockwave. It's a little bit of a problem because a lot of the times, like now, that guy actually died from the corrosive effect we put on him. Let's do another loaded shot. Let's go for this guy now. Weak spot. Let's mark him. I should heal the war, I suppose. Well, let's do a weak spot for now. Hopefully they won't go for him. The enemies don't really attack with rhyme or reason. It's mostly random, but that also does mean you can get unlucky. And there we go. He's short-circuited and stunned. That also means that, you know, you can get unlucky and they suddenly all attack the same robot, which is very, very bad. Let's go for another shockwave. Ah, and I've overloaded my riot, which means that he'll be out for one turn. Not very good. I can try some cooling, perhaps. No, he's still stunned, unfortunately. As you can see, my Zerker here is about to be overloaded, so if I use any of my skills... Wait, what? Yes, if I use any of my skills, as you can see that bar over there, if I hover over an enemy, it goes up far too much. And all of my abilities will overheat him. So I'll just do a normal destroyer shot. Oh, that was a nice critical. Wait, why is my repair bot overheated? So yeah, that's the thing. As you can see, loads of buffs and debuffs on everyone. My repair bot got stunned over here. I've no idea why, and that's one of the problems of the game. There's so much going on, especially when the enemy, for example, has enough speed in unison that they all go at once, you know, one by one, either after or before you. There's so much going on, you simply lose track of it, because, you know, someone will heal, someone will use the shield, one of them will attack your guys en masse, one of them will debuff them. You know, if you wanted to check everything after their turn, you would have to go, okay, so you can't do anything because you were overloaded. I've got a reduced resistance by 50%. I'm also reducing overload by 12% per turn. Okay. This one has the damage taken reduced by 20%, you know, and so on and so forth. So I think it's nice to have so many abilities, but wait, we have... No, we need this. Increased criticals. It can get overbearing sometimes a little bit. I mean, overwhelming. Ow. Okay, let's see. Cooling. Well, I suppose I could do cooling again. Oh, did it heal him? That's nice. I think it did. So we're doing pretty good here, despite the fact that it didn't look very good right at the beginning. Okay, that guy is done. He's healing himself. Let's just do a normal shot. Oh, I didn't... Behold me, you foul wreck. Ow. Fortunately, we're not really facing very nasty enemies right at this moment. But there are some enemies that can be quite nasty. Let's do an immaterial barrier in you, which means that he'll take reduced damage as long as his shield is up, but we'll heal him and make that possible. Let's go for the police officer now. Oh, that was a nice crit. Let's heal our war. Excellent. Let's go for a discharge. Guy's almost dead, actually. Nice. Right. So, another thing that comes into play in the game are traps. Every now and then, we will come across a... let's provoke this guy. Oh, wait a second, is this guy stunned? Overloaded. Darn it. Well, that was wasted. Let's do another immaterial. No, we can't do that. Let's do cooling. Yeah, traps. Every now and then you will come across... Nice, that bounced off. You will come across something you can hack, or, you know, a camera, and so on and so forth, which will reveal a part of the map for you. Now, when that happens, you can also reveal various traps and such. And as soon as you reveal them, it means you will be avoiding them. You will not be triggering them. But if you don't reveal those traps and you walk into that room, it will be sprung. Which, you know, usually results in an overload or a bit of damage and so on and so forth. And you have to remember that shields and health or even overload, none of it changes between, you know, going from combat to combat. It only works in combat. So, you know, if I win right now, my Zerker here will be almost overloaded throughout, you know, until the next combat, and his shield will be at half. So there's not much you can do there. You know, fine. Let's do an artistic performance, and she'll overload. Well, that's fine. There's no other bad thing from overloading apart from, well, losing a turn, which is quite bad. But at this point, it's not really a huge thing. Now I can just heal up the shield a little bit, because I'm trying to keep everyone maxed out, because like I said, this is how they'll stay until the next combat. Okay, let's go for a normal attack, and a normal attack. There we go. So that was how combat works. Everyone gets their experience, and our lady over there has leveled up, which is excellent. We also get various loot and credits. Okay, so now I can go to the equipment. As you can see, I've got various rooms to go through now. Let's go to equipment, go to our lady. Let's see if we can equip anything. You have to hold shift. I'm not really sure why they did this. You have to hold shift to compare the item to the item that's already equipped. I don't know why that's not on always. So none of these are really as good as what she has, unless I'd want more speed for her, and this one, not really. So nothing we can equip there, but she does have one talent now that she's leveled up. So talents, this is basically the talent tree. You start in concentric rings, you start on the outer ring, and you start filling out the talents. And as soon as you fill out 3 talents, for example, I've got 2 out of 2 in Cold Passion and 1 in Shocking Acting, the next ring opens up. So I've got 1 in this, increases regeneration by 7 and 15%. So, let's go for this. Yeah, sure. So these are basically skills. A lot of them are passive. I think actually most of them, or all of them, are passive. I'm not sure if these ones... Yeah, increases power, increases attributes, reduces damage taken. So yeah, none of them actually give you any special abilities, which is... Oh, wait a second. Yes. Okay, so this only applies an additional effect to powerful acting. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, none of them actually give you skills. They only apply passive buffs to skills or to the robot itself. Maybe a little bit of a shame, but, you know, it's fine. So anyway, combat is fun, but quite difficult at times. Now, the thing I don't like is how traps are done in this game. Let me try to show you. Okay, so we've got a surveillance drone, which is like a random encounter. It's like, it can be a drone, it can be a human, it can be a cyborg, whatever. And in this case, the drone will increase the danger level, because I suppose it spots us, unless we can successfully either destroy, reassure, or deactivate it. Now, all of these things will do the same thing, but they will decide, you know, in a slight way, where your sort of personality or, should I say humanity, is leaning towards. So if we destroy it, we're obviously a little bit evil, you know, because I suppose even the surveillance drone has an AI and it's self-aware, because we can reassure it. So if we destroy it, you know, those crazy robot guys that want to destroy everyone will be happy. If we reassure it, maybe cyborgs will be happy, and the humanobots, if we deactivate it, not really sure. So let's try to reassure it, and we succeed. Excellent. So, the little robot also uncovered a little bit of the map here, and as you can see, there is a trap here. Now, that because we've uncovered it, we will not be tripping it. So let's go over here. We can open the survival crate. Not really sure why crates have a, you know, chance to succeed. If you don't succeed, the crate will not open, and you will increase the danger level. Let's also contaminate the fire hydrant, and we failed that, so the danger level went up to 20. But this is not on yet. This needs a threshold of 30. So, here is the trap. It's some kind of a turret, so I suppose we would take damage if we tripped it. Now, there's really only a digital solution, funnily enough, to the traps. It's either on or off. If we uncover it before we actually go to this room, we're fine. If we don't, we're not. There's no in between. There's no, you know, chances of maybe hacking it or maybe fighting it or whatever. It's just yes or no. It's a little bit of a, I think, sort of a cheap solution. I would like more options to either circumvent these or whatever. Anyway, we've got a garbage dumpster, which we can search. And another fire hydrant, which we failed. Brilliant. So now the success chance starts to lower. That's just what we needed. Let's go over here. I need you to raise your arms for a body search, Mr. Wint. Excuse me, but I'm not seeing an officer's badge on your person. Perhaps it is hiding underneath your rifle's shoulder strap. Would you rather I called for an officer, madam? No need, sir. Karen, please do what he's asking for. We can cooperate. Everything seems to be in order, but I must impose a 20 res fine for contempt. Carry on. Ugh, this guy's a mindless sheep. So, we actually got through that without, you know, any violence. Break the cash machine. Get all the cash. And it's only 10 res. That's nothing. And there's a trap here. There you go. So now you can see damage taken 94. Everyone took 94 damage. And that was basically how traps work. There's another ballot box that we need to steal. Perfect. We were lucky to get here right on time. Okay, let's see what else is around here. Patroller, let's neutralize him. We also succeeded. Reputation Supra Machine plus 20. As you can see, these guys that want to kill everyone are happy that we neutralized him, even though he's still there. Not really sure how that works. But as you can see, the map doesn't really involve a lot of randomness. I mean, you just explore everything, you fight it, and, you know, that's it. And you try to complete the main objective. It's not necessary to explore everything. If, for example, all of the objectives would be here, 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 and here, you know, just making an example, I could just go here and take all of the ballot boxes, and that would be it. I would not need to explore all of the rest of the stuff. But of course, fighting enemies and, you know, getting stuff gives you XP. So let's see what else we can find. There's level 7s. Oh no, I hate those guys. No, wait. These are different. And fortunately, this time it's only 5 of them. So anyway, this is how Robothorium works. There's quite a bit of a story there. You know, you have a few choices here and there, and combat is a lot of fun, but there's quite a bit of, like I said, buffing, debuffing going on, and if you fail combat, for example, you have to come back to this place, it seems, and the enemies that you've already killed are already dead, but, like I said, if you level up, all of these guys will level up with you. Next time you fight them. So it's kind of like it feels like a cheap trick. I wish they wouldn't have done it like so. But anyway, Robothorium does have quite a bit of potential. It's already fun to play, and the music is bloody awesome, especially if you like synthwave. I just wish I could play a really evil robotic empire. Not answering to any factions, I'm just taking over the world. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this preview. This is MetalCanyon, and we've been checking out Robothorium. Have a good one. Bye-bye.